Okay, the next story is the floor was a polished expanse of boxwood. The walls were clipped of shining marble, and the ceiling are riot of ornate plasterwork and paint. In the every center of the floor, beneath the dark cobweb and skewered chandelier and dwarfed by the hug proportion of the vast room was a malek sheet table, six candles there like to feeble to reach into the corner of the great room. Illuminated map illuminated illuminated map spread on the green stone table. A man walked from the table to a fire that burned in an intricately carved heart. Here, he stared at the flames, and when at last he spoke, the marble walls made his voice seem hollow with despair. There are no reserves. Calfat Demi Bridge is older is ordered south without delay. delay. The man turned from the fire to look at the table where the candle glow illuminated two places faced above dark uniform. The emperor will not take it kindly if we. The emperor, the smallest man at the table, interrupted in a voice of surprising harshness. Reward success. January ran sputtered the tall, east-facing windows. The velvet curtains of this room had been folded down 21 years before. Trophies to a revolutionary move that had stormed triumphant through the street of Bordeaux, and there had never been the money nor the will to hang new curtains. The consequence in winters like this was a drought of malevolent force. The fire scarcely warmed the hearth, let alone the whole hot room, and the general standing before the feeble flames surfeit east or north. It was a simple enough problem. The British had invaded a small corner of southern France, nothing but a toll between the southern river and the Bay of Biscay. And this man expected the British to attack again, but wool failed. Marshal de Lord Wellington go east or north. We know it's north, the smallest man said. Why else are they collecting both? In that case, my dear Ducos, the general faced back towards the table. Is it to be a bridge or a landing? The chairman, a colonel, dropped a smoke cigar on onto the floor and ground it beneath his toe. Perhaps the American can tell us. The American Pierre Ducos said scathingly, is a flea on the thumb of a lion. An adventure, I use him because no Frenchman can do the task. But I expect small help of him. Then who can tell us? The general come into the aureole of light made by the candle. Isn't that your job, Docus? It was rare for Major Fiery Ducos competent to be so challenging. Yet France was assailed, and Ducos was almost helpless. When with the rest of the French army he had been ejected from Spain, Ducos had lost his best agent, now peering into his enemy mind. Ducos saw only a fog. There is one man. He spoke softly. Well, Ducos around thick spectacle lens flashed candlelight as he stared at the map. He would have sent a message through the enemy lines, and he risked losing his last agent in British uniform. But perhaps the risk was just failed. Justice failed. Justice failed. If it brought the French the news they so desperately needed, ace nor a brigade or a landing. Pierre Ducos nodded. I shall try. Which was why, there days later, a French lieutenant stepped generally across of frosted flying bridge that spanned a tributary of the Nave. He shot cheerfully to warn the enemy sentries that he approached. Two British recruits faced swiftly in Iraq against the battle of called for their own officer. The French lieutenant, seeing he was safe, crazy and fickle, gold, yes, bloody cold. For you, the French lieutenant gave the recruits cloth wherever bundled the content, a lot of breath and lack of sounds they usually gesture on occasions such as this, then greeted his British counterpart with a happy familiarity.